want to just move right along here. I'm going to introduce our next speaker. I want to bring up now a brother who's been doing a lot of excellent work in the organizing campaign and the campaign to stand up for workers' rights. Brother Steve Zeltzer, he is the host of Work Week, and he's creating the International Workers Channel to connect with workers all over the world. Brother Steve Zeltzer.
Thank you, brothers and sisters. The action today is being broadcast all over the world. From Japan, from Korea, from Turkey, from South Africa, from Mexico. This is an international struggle because we are fighting international capitalism. Bezos and Amazon is all over the world, and they want to make money off of death. They're ordering workers to go to work in death traps, like the ship, the Dan Princess. Workers are kept in a Petri dish. They're dying. So we say to these bosses, like Bezos and Walmart and Amazon, the workers have the right to life. The workers have the right to life, and their lives come over your profits, your billions of dollars. In this country right now, this government, this corrupt, rotten, racist government is telling the meat workers they have to go back to work and there's not going to be any safety protections. They should go back and occupy those plants. They should say, get the hell out to these bosses, these owners. These owners put profits over their lives. This is what's happening in this country and around the world. So we want to work. This is being streamed all over the world. We have to use these tools to get our story out. The corporate media is not covering this. The corporate media is not talking about the longshoremen, the fact that they can't get clean cabs and clean protection. It's up to us to develop that media. It's up to us to stop the death of longshoremen right here who died. Who died because they had containers here and they're not policing the containers. People are dying every day in this country because of the health and safety. We need a workers' movement that will defend people. And this historic action by the ILW today is the most important in the United States, because the ILW Local 10 and the locals here are saying we are going to stand up for all working people, for our members and all working people. We need the OEA, all the other unions need to join in. There is a paralysis in unions here. A lot of these union bureaucrats want to collect their dues, but they're MIA. They're not on the front lines. They're not going to the workshop and finding out if you have your PPE. That's the job of a union. A job of a union is to protect the lives of the workers. If you can't do that, you're no damn good. That's the reality. So we need a building, a trade union movement that fights this solidarity. Okay, I know we're going to have music. We're going to have a lot of music. So the organization of this, there's an organized movement that is organizing this caravan. We're going to raise hell on the labor community caravan today in Oakland and tie together all our struggles, because we are not separate. We are united. The housing issue, the homeless issue, they're spending billions on war. They're spending billions on war when thousands of people in tents have no place to live. We have to stop that, and only a united working class movement can do that. So Nora is going to say the last word before we go, and she's going to, okay. Okay, so, these Young Workers United would like to say something.
Hi everyone! Hi everyone! We are here. We are from San Francisco. I'm here representing my community. They are waiting for me to speak in Spanish. Mi nombre es Lady Lavadores. Soy miembro de Young Workers United de San Francisco. Estamos aquí porque nosotros también somos trabajadores esenciales durante esta pandemia. Estamos aquí desde San Francisco apoyando
My name's Lady. I'm from Young Workers United. I'm an immigrant essential worker and we're here supporting everyone who's on strike.
Los trabajadores inmigrantes también estamos trabajando. No tenemos protección y estamos aquí porque queremos leyes que nos protejan en estos momentos. Nuestras compañías están solamente acatando las leyes que se están creando en estos momentos.
I am here because we are also essential immigrant workers who need rights to protect us. The corporations are only aligning when there's laws that say that we should be protected.
Soy trabajadora de una compañía multimillonaria de comida rápida.
I am an essential worker for a large corporation of fast food.
Y nuestras compañías únicamente se están protegiendo como compañías para no ser afectadas. Nuestros empleados están esperando más apoyo.
And these corporations are really just protecting themselves so that they're not being affected. Employees need more.
Nosotros estamos aquí apoyándolos. Quiero que sepan que nuestra comunidad es importante. Nosotros estamos trabajando con salarios mínimos.
We are here supporting, and I want everybody to know that we are immigrant workers who are working minimum wage.
Estamos obligados a salir a trabajar. No tenemos opción de quedarnos en nuestras casas, como muchos pueden hacerlo.
We are being forced to go outside and work. We are not able to stay home and work from home like many other people can.
Nosotros queremos, como centro de trabajadores, que la gente siga apoyando la creación de leyes para que todos los trabajadores que están expuestos en estos momentos al virus, directamente trabajando en comida rápida, en los hospitales, en las calles, como repartidores de comida, que están expuestos con tantas personas al día, pueden ser apoyados de diferente manera. No solamente queremos recibir un sueldo, estamos haciendo un gran trabajo. Nosotros somos importantes.
We, as a worker center, are demanding that there are more laws that protect all types of workers, workers like fast food, workers in restaurants, workers at hospitals, because we deserve more.
Gracias a todos por estar aquí apoyando la causa de todos los que están en huelga. Necesitamos que nuestra voz se escuche. Gracias.
Thank you.
All right, brothers and sisters. Next, I want to bring up Sister Carol Fife. She's from the ACE Project.
What's up, everybody? Do we have translators out here? No? Anyone? Listen, I'm asking for translators because the majority of my folks that came from my organization today are Spanish-speaking members. Even some of them are even undocumented who are standing in their power to push back on the systems that are oppressing all of us, right? So I want to make sure that they can hear and understand what I'm saying, and that I'm lifting them up as part of our base and our community that deserves protection, in the same way that workers need protection, in the same that tenants need protection, in the same way that the ILWU needs protection from gentrification, from the Oakland A's, in the same way that we all need to unite our fights in order to win. So I'm going to ask one more time, is Gabby here? Do we have translators here? Spanish? In the meantime, because we got to get it moving, y'all. Y'all is a bunch of stops It's a bunch of stops on this action today. What? They told me to wrap it up. The point is, what we need to be here and understand today is that this is one fight. We have one enemy that we're fighting, that they are showing all of us that our lives do not matter. To the bosses who are displacing us, the bosses who are demanding that we show up for work without PPE, the bosses that are telling us that we don't deserve to live here, that have homelessness doubling in 2 years in our county. We have to fight. We have no other choice. This is not working for me. We have no other choice but to unite all of our struggles right now. Right now. Capitalism is on its knees. It's greed that has people going back to work and reopening the economy right now. And if we do not unite educators, healthcare workers, union workers, homeless folks, renters, small landlords, all of the folks who are under the boot of the 1%, the 0.5% of 1%, we all will lose. So we need to, when you call me for a fight, when you call me for your fight, we all need to get on the horn and come up to support each other. Because if we do not, we will all perish together. We can win right now. We can win right now. Do y'all hear me? We can win right now.
Podemos ganar ahora.
There you go. There you
Podemos
go.
ganar ahora.
Sí se puede.
Sí se puede.
If we unite,
Si nos unimos,
our enemies are.
nuestros enemigos son,
And this is a unique time in history.
pero este es el momento en
We
la
are living
historia.
in a unique time right now.
Estamos viviendo en un tiempo único y que podemos marcar una historia.
And solamente, everything that we have to lose is on the line. That's all. That's all. Just everything that we love. So what are you willing to put on the line? Y'all come here and risk your lives.
¿Qué vas a poner en medio de esta línea?
A lot of the work that we do, we're seeing the frontline workers
Veces decimos que la línea de los trabajadores
are now worth our attention. That's my Bernie beat. So, I'm going to wrap it up right now. I got y'all back. We have to have each other's. Thank y'all for allowing me this opportunity.
Gracias.
All right, thank you, Sister Fight. All right, before I bring up our next speaker, brothers and sisters, I want to recognize all of the International Longshore and Warehouse Union Local 10 members. And all of the ILW Local 34 members. 75 members. We hear you out there. And before I bring up our next speaker, I want to talk a little bit about him. He's a retired ILW Local 10 member, a brother who has stand fast for workers' rights and the social movement and social justice for all. But before I bring him up, I want you ILW members to bring him up right. So we're gonna lead a chant. You guys ready? Yeah. You ready? Yeah. When I say union, you say fight. Union, fight. Union, fight. When I say people, you say fight. People, fight. People, fight. When I say local, you say 10. Local, 10. Local, 10. Local, 10. Right on, brothers. So right now we're gonna bring up brother Clarence Thomas, the real Clarence Thomas. ILW's Clarence Thomas.
Brothers and sisters, comrades, I may not be able to be with my wife for 2 weeks because she told me not to get out the car today. I want to salute each and every one of you who are here on this historic occasion. Let's be very mindful of something. It is ILWU Local 10. The baddest, the boldest, and the blackest, and the only black local on the West Coast of the ILWU. Look at the planes moved up. The cranes are boomed up to show the power of the working class. The power at the point of production. Local 34. Brother Keith Shanklin, who was the Secretary Treasurer of the Million Worker March movement. Brother Trent Willis, President of Local 10, conceived of the idea of the Million Worker March. Ralph Shulman is here today, who was in charge of communications. I am making these points because of this. One of the demands that came out of the Million Worker March, where we assembled at the Lincoln Memorial in 2004, was to reclaim and revive May Day. May Day commemorates the struggle and the life and death fight that workers engaged in order to end child exploitation. Workers having to work from 12 to 16 hours a day. And what do we see now in 2020? More than 31 governors are saying that if workers don't go to work, they will lose their unemployment benefits. It's your job or your life. We've gone all the way back. And today, it is only ILW Local 10, not the rest of the locals up and down the coast of the west coast of the ILWU. And why is that? Because Local 10 refuses to buckle under Donald Trump. Other locals in the ILWU have become influenced under Donald Trump. Donald Trump says, go back to work on International Workers' Day. That was no accident. He wants you to break any kind of connection that you have with workers all around the world. The world is watching when people say, well, what did Local 10 do? When the ILWU moved to the right, we stood up and we started to fight. I want to close with this. Sister Fife connected on some very important points. We have a billionaire by the name of John Fisher, who owns the Open A's, the Gap, Banana Republic, and a whole bunch of more bullshit. He is a leading funder and advocate for privatization of public schools through charterization. Rocket Ship. What's the other one, Steve? KIPP. Taking money from our children. And yet Libby Schaaf says, give him 50 acres of the property here at the Port of Oakland. Hell no. Hell no. They want to build a 34,000-seat baseball park, 3,000 skybox condominiums, a 400-room hotel, 1.9 million square feet of retail space at the third busiest port on the West Coast. We've got some 300 women that work in this port. Many of them women of color who make some of the best wages in the country. Are we going to stand by and let this crap go down on our watch? Hell no. And I'm going to conclude with this. We've got to connect our struggles. The nurses. I don't know how many of you are aware of this, but today, workers who have no union, who work for Amazon, Trader Joe's, and others are leaving the job today. Are you ready to fight? Yeah! Are you ready to fight? Yeah! Si se puede! Si se puede! Si se puede! Still para todos! I'm still para todos! I should have took more Spanish in school. An injury to one is an injury to all. United we stand, divided we fall. Long live ILWU Local 10! Long live the memory of Harry Bridges! Long live the memory of Leo Robinson! Remember all of the radicals uncles who've contributed to this history. Brother Jack Heyman. Yeah. Brother Larry Wright. Yeah. Brother Herb Mills. Yeah. And it's so many others. And enjoy the wonders and envy the all. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Yeah. Let's go.
All right, thank you, Brother Clarence Thomas. Hey, y'all, give Brother Clarence Thomas one more round of applause. All right, we're going to get ready to move on here. We want everybody to please join the caravan. But before we go, as a Local 10 member, ILW Local 10 member, and as ILW Local 10's president, I want to dedicate this May Day to Brother Harry Bridges and to Brother Leo Robinson. Yeah. Yeah. Leo Robinson was an activist, and he was a member of the ILW Local 10, and he was my mentor. And he was the reason why myself and Brother Clarence Thomas are out here today. So I wanted to make sure I recognize that. And all you Local 10 members in the house, let's make some noise before we go. Once again, when I say union, you say fight. Union. Fight. Union. Fight. When I say people, you say fight. People. Fight. People. Fight. When I say local, you say 10. Local. 10. Local. 10. Local. 10. Let's go, brothers.
I just want to wrap it up real quick. For my 34 members, you're not going to be, we remember you too, okay? We all in this together. Local 10, Local 34, Local 91, and 75, okay? Yeah! So let's get up. Let's get ready to go to work. Hold the sleeves, and let's go get busy!